Figaro.
Right guys, again once more for the People's Mayor, Nick Buckley. At this moment in time, I'm exasperated with Rochdale Council. It's got me kind of wishing that I lived in Wigan for this amazing lady who's going to speak next, who took on the Wigan Council and forced them to support an independent inquiry, a national independent inquiry. Please give a warm welcome to Maureen O'Byrne.
Thank you very much, Billy. Sorry, I'm going to have to read mine out, but thank you all for coming, and thanks so much, Billy, for asking me to come and speak today. The safety and protection of children is everyone's duty. Child abuse can happen anywhere, in the home, institutions, churches, sports clubs. It's not exclusive to any nationality, ethnicity or religion, and all should be condemned. All children should be brought up in a safe environment, nurtured and protected from harm. But sadly, that isn't the case for some children. Today I'm going to speak about a very specific kind of sexual child abuse. The sexual abuse and torture of mainly young white vulnerable girls by predominantly Pakistani Muslim men. This might be an uncomfortable truth, but it's been brushed under the carpet for far too long, for fear of accusations of racism. Nobody should be discriminated against because of their ethnicity, their religion, but neither should they be exempt from punishment when they commit crimes. These men basically sold young girls, some as young as 11, into sex slavery in towns and cities across the UK. Those who should have been responsible for protecting those young girls turned a blind eye and even covered up for them. The police, social services, schools, children's homes, local authorities and councillors. This has gone on for decades. Yes, a few of these rape gang members have been jailed, but many have now been released and returned to the same towns that their victims live in. However, the vast majority of these gangs have never been prosecuted, and nobody in authority has ever been held to account. Those few brave people who did try to speak up were vilified and often lost their jobs. Maggie Oliver had to resign from the police after years of trying to get justice for the girls. She's still trying. Tommy Robinson was demonised for speaking out and exposing the gangs and is now in prison. None of the investigations into these gangs has ever been truly effective. Only a full national statutory inquiry can get those girls the justice they deserve, the perpetrators the punishment they deserve, and those who covered up need to be held accountable. But like Nick says, an inquiry is not enough. We need prosecutions and we need people jailing. We need to force the government to hold a full inquiry. Unbelievably, some councils are still against this. A couple of weeks ago I tried to put forward my motion to Wigan Council that they write to the government to demand an inquiry. The chair of the meeting said there was no time for my motion. To me it was the most important motion. I refused to be silenced and began to read my motion regardless. The council, as all the Labour councillors bar one, walked out. This was videoed and went viral. 2 days later the meeting was reconvened and my motion was passed. But I still wasn't allowed to read it out. They don't want to hear what happened to those girls, but their voices should be heard. But it does show the power of the people. The council were forced into voting for a public inquiry, not because of me, because of the public outcry and the bad press that they got. Again here today, let us demand a full inquiry. Make our voices heard. This must never be allowed to happen again, but sadly young girls are still being groomed and raped by the gangs, and boys. It needs to stop now, as does all abuse of children. Thanks for listening to me, and thanks to every one of you for turning out today to show your support for any child who has suffered abuse of any kind. And could I please ask you all, can you please, when you go home today, just take a few minutes, find out who your local councillor is and your MP, and please write to them, email them and tell them, demand a full inquiry, public inquiry into this. Local ones are no use. People cannot afford to be given evidence in a local inquiry. Please do it. Let's keep the pressure up. I met with a councillor contacted me from St Helens Council yesterday. I met with him and he is putting the same motion forward, because to be honest, we're not going to get Labour councillors or very few putting this motion forward. We need independents, whoever, UKIP Reform, other councillors to put it forward, Conservatives. Keep the pressure up, keep the ball rolling, get every council in this country. I mean, Oldham's done it now. If Oldham's been forced into do it, we can do it with our own local councils. Thank you for speaking to me, listening to me.
Right, again, once again, Maureen O'Byrne, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, guys, now I've got a very legend here now from Oldham, who for me was one of the first people I spoke to regarding the abuse in Oldham, which was many years ago. She don't get the credit she deserves. She's been tormented by the people of Oldham who she's exposed and ran out of town. She can't live there anymore, but she's always welcome here with us. Ladies and gentlemen, Deborah Barrett-Cull.
Go on, Deb.
Good afternoon, everybody. How are we all? Are we all right? You've all been very, very quiet today, listening to everybody, which is really good. But you all know that I'm a girl from Oldham and I like to bring the voice. So let's have a bit of sound going on here, because you know what? Our children need our voices. Every one of us, every single parent, grandparent, mother, father, auntie, uncle, sister, brother, they need our voices. I'll just give you, for those who don't know me, I am from Oldham originally, and a very quick story. I went up to Oldham Council back in 2019, 6th of November, and I wanted to ask one question, which everybody has the right to go up to the council and ask a question. What resulted in that is Oldham Council dismissing the meeting 3 times, walking out, so that they wouldn't get the chance, so I wouldn't get the chance to ask that question. Your local council, if you've got a Labour council, they will do everything within your power to stop you from asking a question. They will stop you from putting them held to account. They will stop you. Now, unfortunately, Oldham Council hangs about with convicted heroin dealers and getaway drivers who murder police officers. And that person decided to target me, so unfortunately I had to leave my hometown. But that's not stopped me. I have kept going in the background. People don't know, but I've been slowly ticking away, chipping away. I had many survivors and victims contact me after I went up to that meeting. A lot of them was passed over to people who I thought could help them more. One of them was Maggie Oliver. I contacted Maggie Oliver regarding one lady called Sam. She wanted to give her statement to Andy Burnham's review that he was doing under Malcolm Newsom and Gary Ridgway. They did everything within their power. Andy Burnham did everything within his power not to interview one survivor. But I knew Maggie Oliver, so I contacted Maggie Oliver direct, and she got Sam to go and see Gary Ridgway. Unfortunately for him, but very clever for her, we recorded that interview where he confessed he was a Labour supporter, and that he actually said that anything that he wanted to do had to go through Andy Burnham. So when you're hearing Andy Burnham saying, oh, it was limited, the review was limited, now he's saying it's limited, but he was the one that limited it. He was the one that held it back. He is the one that said we're not going to be interviewing any survivors. And if he tells you any different, like I said to him back in Oldham Council, you're a bare-faced liar, Andy Burnham, because that's exactly what he is. So all I ask is that you could please keep the pressure on your councils. keep the pressure on your politicians, keep the pressure on every local councillor that you've got. Keep writing to them, keep bombarding them, and don't go away. Keep your children safe, because Andy Burnham and the Labour Party and Keir Starmer will not keep our children safe. God bless you all, and all stay safe.
Again, once again for Deborah Barrett-Cole, ladies and gentlemen. My final speaker is a great friend of mine from Oldham who has been fighting tirelessly to protect children in Oldham, the children under 5s. Please give a warm welcome to Dorothy Lawn. Guys.
Thank you, Billy, for giving me the chance to speak to the public in Manchester. I've been fighting for over a decade. In fact, it's much longer than a decade, but I'm just saying a decade, just to give you an idea. And that is to safeguard the under 5s in every preschool in this country, because every preschool is being failed by Ofsted. Andy Burnham, the MPs, the councillors, GMP, all in authority, the social services, the new safeguarding team we've got at Oldham, who told me she can't even do the job. She just sold her vote to Labour. Lisa Navesy and Shahid Mushtaq. They didn't even bother to read the letter of concerns that I had regarding the under 5s. They've now sold that preschool off to a lady who's telling me that I'm slandering her.
Guys, hello. Don't give him the best satisfaction. There's someone speaking here and it's really important in what she's saying. Right. Guys, turn this way, you're going to get acne. Guys, James, guys, can we focus on the speaker, please? Guys, can we focus on the speaker, please, guys? The great unwashed spot that come and spoil your speech, Dorothy. I do apologise, darling.
Dorothy Law. It's important what she's saying, guys.
Right, so the main reason is I'm here because it goes that far that the DWPs have stopped me having benefits for 7 years just for refusing to turn the blind eye to child abuse in a preschool. I can't get a job in Oldham in a preschool. I can't get a job anywhere in a preschool or a caring setting because I've been blacklisted under whistleblowing. Now, I've had my money turned over on the grounds of whistleblowing and I'm protected in law, but I'm not protected in law because they won't give me my money for safeguarding the children. The children do not get safeguarded by anybody. You can speak out and people are frightened to speak out because they lose the job. Well, I'm sorry, them children meant more to me than my job meant. I'm willing to put my house on the market to a solicitor or a barrister or anybody to get it in court, and I'll swap it just for justice because that's what means more to me. There's nothing worse than a child being abused. The under 5s cannot speak out for themselves. Now, I just got to the part where we were rudely interrupted, where I'm being slandered in Oldham. I'm being slandered by mothers whose kids I protected because they think I'm trying to put the preschool out of business because they want to send the children somewhere so they can go to work. Well, I don't agree with that. My job was my job. my job wasn't more important than the children, but the safeguarding was. That was mandatory in my job. It stopped me going to work. It stopped me getting the chance to do jury service because I've got no money. I'm being funded by my own kids. My son lost his home funding me. The woman round the corner who libelled herself at my tribunal can still work with children. Everyone who works in the preschool where I got bladed in the blades, they can work with children because they kept it quiet. If you keep it quiet, you're doing your children no favours. Your children need your voice when they're under 5s, because if they don't get it, it leads to further abuse as they get older. When they get to school, they're abused in schools, colleges, and the worst thing about my abuse, it was in a church setting, and I still cannot get the vicar to help me in Oldham Parish Church. He'll bring me a food bank so I don't starve, but he will not help the under 5s who are being abused by Oldham Metropolitan Borough Council, Red Robin Preschool at Gravlow Methodist Church and Ofsted. And Andy Burnham sent me and an 80-year-old woman to Moss Side for a solicitor. He said, oh, we'll get you a solicitor. I went to Moss Side with this lady. I sat in front of Robert Lasky and he refused to help me. And when I asked him why, he said, because I'm not allowed to do litigation. I'm a barrister. You should have asked for a solicitor. Well, I asked for a solicitor. It was Andy Burnham stonewalling me. And Andy Burnham sent them all from Liverpool to OMBC to ensure that Dorothy Lord didn't get legal aid for them under 5s. I'm sorry if I sound a bit nasty, but I disagree with child abuse. It's disgusting.
Guys, that concludes today. A massive thank you to everybody who's turned up. Please do not. We will win this fight, guys. We will continue. Don't let the unwashed bother you. They're only here because they've got nothing else to do. They want to stand against. Don't face them. Don't argue. You'll get acne. So stay over here. Leave them to it. We're going to get on and having a nice day. Thank you again, and I'll see you all soon. God bless.
You've got a little bit of something going over my shoulder.
Oh, sorry guys, just one more. Just one more.
There, but we don't really want to look at them.
Thank you, mate.
We've got one more.
Thanks, pal. Yeah, I just want to say quickly, because everybody wants to get off now. I just want to say I'm Damon from British Lions for Freedom. Some of you may know us, some of you may not. So we've got an event coming up in Birmingham on March 22nd. It's going to be a big day. We've got a yellow boards, Rebels on Roundabouts at the 5 ways from 11 till 1. We've got six gazebos that we're going to set up. We've got information stalls. British Lions for Freedom are included. Truth Be Told are also going to be there as well. That's organised by Fiona Rose Diamond, giving the voice to the vaccine injured and bereaved. We've got basically I've onboarded teams from around the UK. So this is a unification rally. This is all groups, or as many groups as possible, genuine groups that are going to come together on this day on many different issues as well. So you're all more than welcome to come. As I said, there's going to be a Rebels on Roundabouts from 11 till 1 at the 5 ways roundabout. The main event will start at the Bull Ring at 1:30 p.m. We've got live music. We will have a march as well, but we try to bring as much to the day as possible in terms of entertainment and fun and enjoyment. We want you to come and go away from the day and have something memorable and say that was good. We do street theatre, we do choreography. We don't make life easy for ourselves, but we really want to put on a good day for you and a good show. So if anybody wants to come to Birmingham on March 22nd, it'd be good to see you there. You're more than welcome. Bring your signs, bring your banners, bring whatever you want. Thank you guys. And you can also, if you want to look at the promotional stuff regarding this, you can find us on Facebook and Telegram. That's British Lions for Freedom on Facebook and Telegram. But we need everybody to come together. We might not agree on everything, but we certainly all agree on some things. And I think we all definitely agree on one thing, is that this country is falling apart, and it's falling apart because the people in power, our servants in office, they're not incompetent, they're very smart, and they're very deliberately destroying our country and our society in order to implement control, and in order to implement the World Economic Forum's Agenda of 2030, which is going to be a totalitarian, technocratic nightmare for us all if we don't stand up. So I know it already is, but it's going to get worse if we don't stand up. So on March 22nd, and I say this with no hesitation, this is not through incompetence through our servants in office, and I call them that because that's what they are. They are our servants, and we should never forget that. Yeah. This is not through incompetence, this is not through stupidity, it's through design, and it's deliberate. And I'll say this with no hesitation, we are in a war. We are in a war against a handful of globalists, against the rest of humanity. And on March 22nd in Birmingham, that will be the battleground for that day. Thank you, guys. Going on with this.
Oh, mate, how you doing?
You're feeling better now?
A little bit, yeah, I'm just getting over it. I'm still a little bit live, so I'm just leaving it running for now. A little bit of nonsense over there, but you're alright.
Emma, do you want to say something?
Can somebody take this mic off me before I do some damage? Thanks, mate.
I want to message Ellen and say, come on, Dave. Sorry.
Billy? William Arrow? Here he comes, my mate Billy. I tell you what, he's done more for these kids in the 20 years than anybody.
Hang on, just
right, guys, I think we're done on here. Where's Nick Tanconi?
Thank you for doing
Nick.
filming and everything. I'm not very good at filming. I've had it all.
I'll give it to Billy, and Billy can pass it on to everybody.
Well, thank you. And
Someone will
right, Nick.
I think you've just friended me.
That's us, British pal, all yours, sir.
We've seen in America.
Oh, darling.
The guy called in.
Absolute pleasure. Guys, we've got a march. We've got a march, and we've got a really big banner that's really going to upset the lefties and the communists and the Islamists and the liberals. This works because of you. You were here for Billy, and I'm asking you for an hour more of your time. The people are coming over from Piccadilly Gardens. We're going to march for freedom. We're taking our country back. We're going to get behind the banner, and we're going to send a message to the rest of the nation, a message of hope, of inspiration that leads to motivation that is required to take back our country. You are doing God's work today, patriots. Please, please stay here. Congregate, watch your backs. I was told there was 2 counter protests for me. I was expecting 1,000 lefties. They brought together 200. I'm disgusted. I am utterly disgusted. Do they not know who I am? I want 1,000. They fear me. They fear us. Stick around. 10, 15 minutes tops. We march for freedom. God bless. Thank you. Don't go anywhere.
No, it's 10 minutes, so we've switched it, so rather than going from Piccadilly Gardens to here, we'll go from here to Piccadilly Gardens, so 10 minutes.
So guys, there you are, we've had some good speakers. We've had Nick, we've had Nick Buckley, Nick Ting, Cody, we've had Billy who hosted here, Raj, a lot of people have noticed. I couldn't comment because it's easy for me to allow these people to speak and say what they need to say rather than get involved. You can see I'm still a little bit rough, a little bit better than I was, but at the end of the day I let the speakers do the speaking, and at the end of the day, let you listen to what they have got to say. And then at the end of the day, you're the ones that are judged. And we've had a bit of over our shoulder, a little bit. There's a bit of a police presence here now. There's a bit of a police presence over the back there. So you get one or two people that are saying things, but I've just left the camera on the speakers because I thought the speakers were more important. There's probably about 100 people here today. At the end of the day, you know as well as I do, there should be people in there, thousands if not in their millions, trying to make this government actually listen to the people who put them into office. Because until they actually go in, you know, until they actually do something, it's going to be like this to the end of time, because it's been so bad for such a long time. There is no difference between the two-tier party systems, and I'm not going to lecture you guys. I think you all know how bad this country is. I could have said a lot more. I did have a speech, but it was on this phone. I didn't realise my other phone was, half empty, so nearly dead. So I didn't have a few problems. I wanted to read off of this phone, but I couldn't do it because I've got one or two issues with my phone, and so I did it the way I did it. Hope it's worked, and what you saw, what I did is I edit the speakers and I'll pass that on and I'll put them up individually. So if you want to like and share, please do so. Thank you all for watching. I'm going to do a bit with Nick Tinconi now and see what happens with Nick's side of it, and the UKIP flag behind me, and go from there. Just turn it round and you can see Nick is here in front now. Nick's going to do something in a minute. So yeah, Nick Tinconi, UKIP leader. One or two people still here. We've still got our police presence behind or in front of us. There's something going on here, just in front of us. We've got a few police here. I'll zoom in on that, but at the end of the day, the focus isn't really on. There's a few masked people up there, and a few people. I don't know what that's all about, why the police are there, what they are. But we don't really want to concentrate on that. At the end of the day, it's all about Nick's coming on next and doing his thing. And so, until we go with that, I'm going to say thank you to every single one of you for watching. Thank you to all the speakers, and here from St Peter's Square in Manchester. And now we'll do a little bit in Piccadilly Gardens with Nick. He's going to do a bit of a march in about 10-15 minutes, and we're going to go from there.
How many people do you know about? There you go.